What's up, Buckeye Nation, Buckeye Scoop family? Happy Monday evening. Another game in the books and another game upcoming. We're going to talk about it. Listen, 6-0, right? 6-0 gives you the chance to go 7-0. Never gets old, for sure. Do me a favor, hit that like button. You veterans already did it because you're savvy like that. Go ahead and hit that like button if you have not subscribed. Please consider subscribing. We're still marching towards our goal, getting there little by little. And so I would ask you to do that. Hit that bell notification so whenever we go live, it pops up on your feed, on your timeline, and all that. Also, we got a nice little flip here at Ohio State. We're going to talk about that. Excited about that. And we're going to touch on some other things about recruiting as well a little bit. We've told y'all between now and the season in December, it's wide open. Don't sleep on this Buckeye recruiting effort. We're going to get into that. But also remember, when you send those wonderful super chats, helps to go towards the pay it forward, which is our military and our first responders. We got to look out for them because they always look out for us, and we appreciate them. With that said, Nevada Buck, what's up, brother, man? Good to see you.
Yeah, no, it's good to see you too, B. And we've missed you the last couple of days. Know you've been dealing with some stuff, and just want you to know that we're with you, and our prayers are with you. And hey, like I said, it's nice when we can talk about football and stuff, but real life is real life, and I'm glad we can be a little distraction for you, buddy.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I definitely appreciate y'all. And I appreciate Buckeye School family. Just when we say family, it's real. It's not just a catchphrase, it's a real thing. So I appreciate the love and support from the Scoop and as well as you, Nevada. But yes, definitely good to be here with a nice distraction of doing what I love to do, which is, talk Buckeye football and college football, the greatest sport on earth. So very happy about that. And so definitely wanted to kick it off, man, and give you the floor about this recruit we just flipped. And tell me your thoughts on him. Obviously, I'll follow up, but I'm excited about it. I'm excited about it, man. What you got on the mystery flip today?
Well, we got a big offensive lineman out of Mentor, Landry Breed, 6'6", 315-pound offensive tackle, and was committed to North Carolina State. And I think this is a severely underrated kid. A kid that when you see his film, you're just like, I don't see how this. I'm not saying he's a can't miss kid, but he's as close to can't miss as you can. And how I love those in-state linemen. So Ohio State flipped them from NC State. NC State had a pretty good history in terms of getting offensive linemen. This is a really good player that every time we look at the film, we're just like, how is Ohio State not in on this guy? And I think they got in on him a little late, but they flipped him today. So big offensive tackle flipped to Ohio State. Very, very excited about it. And, if you've been following Nevada Buck for any years, you know how much I love in-state offensive linemen. I mean, I do love me some in-state offensive linemen. I think, that when we won our national championship in 2014, it was with, 5 Ohio kids across the front. And I think that your miss rate on those kids is
Sorry, sound just came on out of nowhere. Forgive me.
I thought B Moses was being overrun by the children or something like the children
I
of the
was like, is
corn or
that
something.
BJ up there playing Fortnite? I didn't know
What's
what
going?
that was. My bad.
Yeah, no, but no, I'm super excited about it. Like it's one of those things where I always say be excited about every commitment, and I can't tell you how many times we have to go through this exercise, but you know. Austin Seyerveld when he committed, and people are like, "Oh, okay, Austin Seyerveld, that's great." And
Right.
now, if you had Austin Seyerveld starting left tackle on your bingo card, that's probably that, or Arvell Reese when he committed, and you're just like, Arvell Reese, maybe the best linebacker to ever play at Ohio State on your bingo card, that would have gotten laughed off the board right there. And but that you just never know. You just never know. And a kid like this, I would not bet against. Love this kid, love everything about this kid, and this kid plays nasty. I mean, he is a nasty customer out there on the field, big guy. So if you like tackles, if you like in-state kids, if you like nasty, you're gonna love Landry Breed. got him today. Big flip for Ohio State. Got him from North Carolina State. Very, very, very excited about the acquisition.
Yep, and I think he was listed at 280, but I believe he's 315 now. He's 6'5", 315 now at this point. And so, I mean, listen, we've said this before. Ohio O lineman, give me the lowly 3-star. Like, listen, if anything, if history has not showed you that we've done good with some 3-star linemen, what about the recency? Nevada mentioned Austin Saravelt. Okay, he is an Iron Buckeye, a starter, and a future NFL player. And so, I mean, and not only that, last year really showed that, hey, maybe we don't suck on the O line. There was some rough patches, some development, time. But I mean, who is talking about our O line being bad and not developing right now? How could you? And so, yeah, this big fella, I just think, one of those Ohio linemen, like Nevada said, tough, nasty, big guy. He's going to get great coaching with Coach Bo and and this staff and the 5011 O line coaches we got on staff. I mean, I'm excited. Give me Ohio O lineman all day, every day. I'm super excited about this kid. And so yeah, I mean, and also the evaluation process, y'all. Sometimes Ohio State will wait to see how a kid develops. Like they knew about this kid. But it's just like here is our evaluation process. Okay, now we feel like you are Buckeye worthy. Let's go after the kid. Now listen, I know sometimes that can be risky. If there's a big time, well, really, I guess the flip side to that is if it's a big time O lineman that's already showing that they're ready, then you're not gonna slow play them. But the point is, most of the time, Nevada, if there's a kid who they're like, I still want to see the development, they can swoop in and usually get their guy, right? I mean, late in the process.
Oh yeah, for sure. And it's but it's like recruiting and everything. They talk about confident relationships, and we're guys, and people don't want to be feel disrespected. They don't want to feel like they were a second choice or a plan B or anything like that. But a kid like Landry, man, Landry always wanted to be a Buckeye. When that offer came, and it's kind of a dream come true. And I just, I just look at the culture of Ohio State, and I look at the quality of the kids, and I look at stuff, and let's be honest, we take it for granted because we have so many good. We have a perfect APR of 1,000 for our football team. We have
Yeah.
almost no off-field issues, and this is the culture of Ohio State. But it's we say it's the culture of Ohio State, but it hasn't always been that way at Ohio State. Okay, we can all remember. We're all old enough to remember when there were off-field incidents, or there were Reggie Germany 0.0 GPAs, and there
Yeah.
were, I mean, so many different things. So let's a more accurate description would be this is Ryan Day's Ohio State culture that he's got going right now. And that's without any disrespect to any coach that came before him, but Ryan's doing this at a really high level right now. And when you get good kids, you get more good, good kids beget good kids, and you get it. And you know what? You don't end up with any Bryce Underwoods on the sidelines yucking it up,
Oh,
losing 28-13 or 31-13 or what. I mean, I couldn't believe that when I saw that, but it's so perfectly encapsulated the difference between the programs right there, between Ohio State with this perfect APR, these great kids, these kids that want to be here for all the right reasons, and then that cesspool up there in Michigan where they've got mercenaries that are there just because of the bag. And
right.
Bryce Underwood was just he would bag on Michigan in every opportunity until they threw the big enough bag at him. Then all of a sudden he switches commitment. And when somebody's there for the wrong reason, they're there for the wrong reason, and it's never going to be right. And so, can you imagine this guy's the leader of your team? He's the captain, the leader of your team. He's out there yucking it up down 31-13 at USC. Absolutely disgusting. Give me kids like Landry Breed. Give me kids that want to be Buckeyes. Give me kids that are coming here for the right reasons. Give me kids that are taking less money, to come to the place that they really, they value development, over the bag. I just think that long term, short term, medium term, every kind of term, that's the best path forward, and it just makes you really proud to be an Ohio State Buckeye.
Definitely. And we're going to get into the Michigan stuff a little later, but that's a little bit of a teaser. We're going to talk about that because you talk about culture, man. You're seeing the differences. There's just more data points. I love to use data points. I love to use it as an example. There's so many things to look at to see the differences between the program. And this is just more information to really say, yo, I'm so good on that right there. Like we don't need that. And we're going to get into that. But as far as the recruiting tip goes, I also wanted to bring this back up, Nevada. Shout out to Funky Buck. He started a thread on Buckeye Scoop. Matter of fact, if you have not signed up to BuckeyeScoop.com, make sure you do that. Best board out there, best information. Like I said, Scoop is like family. We could talk about anything, not even sports related. And it's just constant flow of just good information and just discussion. So make sure you sign up for Buckeye Scoop. But Funky Buck posted that the Florida State commit Jay Timmons is visiting. The number 2 cornerback on Rivals is visiting. And then it said at the end of his post, he said, this seemed extremely unlikely when it looked like Florida State was legit. Aha. Remember what me and Nevada said? Remember, Nevada? We talked about how just you wait till the season starts. Everything is all good and rosy and sounds great when these staffs are in the ear of these players projecting how good they're going to be or how the future is going to be so much better. But then you got to actually play games and you see who's who, and the landscape really reveals itself. And so this is another example of how now it's just like these kids are like, yo, like Florida State just might not be it. And not just because they're losing games, but just the culture in the program. You could just see it, man. Ohio State, there's so many people who are baffled. Okay, I listen, I try to tune into the pundits, even if it's just clips, to try to hear what they're saying. Nevada, I can't tell you how many times I've heard national analysts talk about how baffled they are that Ohio State is still in a position after losing 14 players to the NFL. And so these recruits and their families see it. They see that, hey, they may not be offering the highest bag every time, but there's something about that program. They lost 14 guys and they're still in a position to repeat for national championships with young players. By the way, nobody talks about how young we are. There's excuses for teams like Michigan and other schools, but we got a freshman quarterback, a freshman running back, and a sophomore receiver. But yet nobody talks about that. But anyway, point is these recruits see this. And so we told you, Nevada, we told them, listen, between now and December, we're going to finish strong. This Buckeye coaching staff, they put it out there. They're not going away quietly. They're adjusting, they're targeting. They feel really, really good that we're going to end this class on a high note. And we're just seeing little things, Nevada. This is another example.
Well, I mean, look, let's talk about one program in particular, and I mean, Penn State. I have never seen a bigger reversal fortune than Penn State going there. I mean, let's kind of review where they're at. They made the national semifinal last year. Okay, so they were one game away from playing for the national championship. They returned Drew Aller, who at the time is the consensus like number one pick. If it wasn't Arch Manning, it was Drew Aller. You know what I'm saying? It was one
Right.
of those two guys. Is the guy the next big thing. Um, 3 weeks ago, they're number 2 in the country. They're literally number 2 in the country 3 weeks ago,
Yeah.
and they lose an overtime game to Oregon. And then they go out to UCLA and lose, and then they come back home and lose to Northwestern, and James Franklin is fired. So in 3 weeks, you go from you are literally leading the renaissance of Penn State football, into the promised land. You're the new power, the incredible 26 and 27 recruiting class, number one running back in the country in 27 commits to Penn State. I mean, they're cooking, and now it's all gone. So things can change in a hurry. The moral of the story is things can change. And to your great point about other programs, I mean, look at when coaches change, everything, it goes everything up in smoke for recruiting. It becomes a complete jump ball. So you've got Penn State, which is a complete jump ball right now. You've got whoever the coach is that goes to Penn State is going to be a complete jump ball. You've got
Yeah.
Auburn, which is a dumpster fire. You've got Florida State, which is a dumpster fire. You know what I'm saying? You've got a lot of five-alarm fires going on right now in places where kids have committed to. Calling paging Braylon Womack. And so I mean, you got a lot of stuff going on. So and then let's look at Ohio State. Ohio State, the beacon of tranquility in this world of chaos right now. The Ohio State ship just keeps on chugging along, and that doesn't
Yeah.
mean we're never going to lose a game or whatever it is. But like, and I hate to even take us back to this, but I'm going to do it anyway, just at the risk of whatever. We almost tossed all this away by firing Ryan Day after the Michigan game. I mean, seriously, that could have happened.
Yeah.
That could have happened. That was a very popular take at the time. I
Yes,
mean,
it was.
if Ross Bjork had decided to fire Ryan Day after the Michigan game, I think it would have been met generally with pretty acceptance and enthusiasm from the Ohio State faithful. And now, again, we talk about reversal of fortune. Now he's on top of the world. James Franklin's out, and we're chugging along after winning the national championship last year on our road to another potential national championship this year, and a loaded class in 20 or a team in 2026 on top. It's like it's I say all those things just so that when people are listening to the Ohio State fans, man, really take inventory of the good, really
Yeah.
take a step back and kind of go, oh my goodness. I mean, I hate to use this expression because it was said by that raving idiot Harbaugh, but who's got it better than us? I mean, really, I mean, seriously,
Yeah.
like, we've got a freshman quarterback who might be, yeah, I mean, he might be the best freshman quarterback that I've ever seen. I mean, you're gonna have to remind me of somebody who as a freshman's been better than Julian Sand. And you know, dare I say, we ain't ever seen a quarterback like Julian Sane. So it's like, um, again, we have such an abundance of blessings right now, and recruiting. We're going to be the benefactors because as these other programs experience turmoil, changes, coaches on the hot seat, losing games, people upset. We're just going to keep chugging along. We're going to finish. So if you're an Ohio State fan, we told you to relax at the off season when people are going to go crazy. Now you see why we were telling you to relax. We're in great shape. We are the gold standard for college football right now in 20. Now, could that change in 2026, 27, 28? Sure. Anything can happen. As we've seen with Penn State, anything can happen. But man, we are looking good right now and getting better every week as a team. And so I'm excited about the team. I feel like there's some tweaks that we can do that can take it to another level, and good. But boy, we're in good shape, and really don't ever take it for granted because we really are in the rare air right now.
Yeah, we are. Yeah. This is something I've always preached, man. Like, it's a blessing to be born a Buckeye. Like, like I'll just be thinking to myself, Nevada, like, imagine I was born in Iowa or Washington State. You know, like,
No, no, no.
like,
Or if the B at B Moses stood for Boilermaker Moses.
I mean, yeah, straight up. Like, could you imagine? Like, it's just, you remember the show Married with Children, Al Bundy, when Peg used to just irritate him, he used to go like this and just act like he's shooting himself. Like, that's how I feel thinking about being a fan of, listen, forgive me. That was mean, Purdue fans and Iowa fans. I respect your program. You got a nice program. But come on, dog. This is the Ohio State University. And, being born and raised in Columbus, and, and even if you weren't born and raised here, just, your parents or whatever connection you have, to be a Buckeye fan is just like, yo, I mean, this is just amazing. And so the consistency this program has is why I'm so confident, why I'm always so positive and confident, is because they just haven't led us astray. Like, I have reasons to be confident. I have reasons to not freak out and think it's going left. And I just don't. And so, to your point, super glad that the administration and Bjork didn't give in to the some of the fans. Yes, it was a large amount, not all, but a large amount that were calling for his head and all that. And I was not among them. I was not. Was I frustrated? Was I upset? Yes, but I was not among them, and I'm happy to say that because again, I saw the Bruce Leroy in Ryan Day, and I was just like, man, this Tennessee game, it was literally like, yo, this is it. Let's see how he reacts to the ultimate adversity. And now college football, I feel like, has created a monster because Ryan Day, the way he moves, the way he's leading this team, these coaches, I mean, it's just so dope to see it, Nevada. From the all the he's soft and third base and all that crap. This dude is really about to show cats. Like this, we're about to see some great things, y'all. I really believe that, Nevada. So we're spoiled. Appreciate it.
But I mean, and again, I don't want to belabor this, but again, if you were a Purdue fan, like, how could you be a college football fan knowing you have no chance to win the national championship every year? Like, no chance,
Yo.
zero. So, like, your chances of a national championship died at birth. You know what I'm saying? Like, literally, like, you will never be a national. Like, what do you do? Like, root for the synchronized swimming team or the rifle team or something like that? What do you do?
Oh,
Because, like, how could you be a college football fan? And so I actually feel bad, and I think I think one of the wonders of the NFL is that all the teams have a chance. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like, not every year you don't have a chance, but if you're bad, you get the first pick, and so they try to breed parity in the league so that bad teams can become good teams and this and that. But in college football, when you're bad, you're just bad. And if your dad went to Bowling Green and you're a Bowling Green fan, you're just fish food. You're just that's all you are. You'll never be a national, you know what I'm saying? And if you get a good player, he's just gonna go off to someplace else and play. Man, I just don't even understand it. So, like, for me, I'm just like, oh, thank goodness that my mom and dad got me to be an Ohio State fan. And I mean, I'm just so blessed that it happened that way because I love college football, but I'm telling you, I would not love college football if every weekend we were going out and losing 28-0 or something like that. That wouldn't be fun. But there are people that actually that's millions of people live in that reality.
yeah,
Tens of millions, hundreds of millions of people live in that reality every day.
yeah.
And boy, we are the chosen ones for sure.
We exactly. Listen, we're just trying to get y'all to understand this perspective, because I honestly, and this is, I'm saying this because I see way too many miserable, super negative Nancy Buckeye fans, and we're not talking about those who just say, "Hey, this is what we can work on to get better." Like we all do that. We do that. Like, hey, the running game needs to improve. Like that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about those who are they never. It's like the people on the apps on the social medias that like, are you ever happy, dog? Like, are you ever happy? So anyway, y'all should be happy because I'm telling you, we ain't going nowhere. This is going up and up and up, and the recruiting is only this season and this cycle is only going to get better. And yes, we are absolutely. I saw somebody asking, if we're going to go after any Penn State's players. Yes, we are, and yes, it's happening. So we'll see. We'll see what happens, but I'm super excited. So listen, we can kind of shift gears and talk about the Michigan stuff, and kind of even in conjunction with, because I didn't get a chance to talk about the game in Illinois and all that. So we don't have to deep dive into it because I know it was already covered, but we can kind of get into those waters, Nevada. And I'll just quickly say this and pass the mic to you with the Illinois game. Now, remember, does anybody remember my prediction? Okay. And it's funny, Nevada, we caught heat for even suggesting that they would give up a touchdown. But we told y'all, like, Illinois is a good team. Their two losses is to number one Ohio State and what are they ranked now? Who they lost to? Indiana. They're 3 now. 3. I mean, they're a good team. Illinois is a good team. Are they a great team? No, but they're a good team on the road. And so I think people need to understand that this was a really good win. I think Brett Bielema is a still, he reminded me of why I didn't like him, why I called him Bert. He's a tool. He's just, the substitution stuff he was doing, and then in the fourth trying to score, and like, man, this is over with. And then we finally sent Arvell Reese, like, all right, enough of this. Don't get your quarterback hurt. But anyway, I digress. Point is, my score was 38-13. That was my score. Nevada's score was 31-17. The score ended up being what? It was 34-16, right? So we were both in that ballpark close. And so our defense is still really, really good and outstanding. But, I knew at some point, we might give up a touchdown again. Like, it might happen. And it did, but it's okay. But Nevada, any thoughts on that before I go any further?
Well, no, I just think, I think that after 6 weeks in with Ohio State, we have enough of a sample size that we kind of know what we're really good at, and we know the areas that we can improve. And helping technician had a great nugget today talking about some of the things that they're doing. Um, kind of tweaks or kind of as they get into the second half of the season, how Ryan's kind of challenging the position coaches on some areas of improvement, some of them involving personnel, some of them involving schematics and strategy, and one of the things that he talked about was the running game and what they're going to do about the running game. And I think the answers to the running game, we all know what they are, and we've all seen it, so we don't need to belabor it. But I think that they're going to start bringing out more of the creativity that they kind of displayed in the second half of the season last year. I think that they weren't sure what they had with their running backs. Donaldson's a little bit of a point he's an A to B point runner. He goes hard into the hole. And James is obviously struggling a little bit, and Bo's he's been our best back, but he's been injured a little bit. So they've had Turbo Rogers who's been hurt. So I think they've been kind of taking it carefully in terms of the running game and have been a little bit vanilla with it. But they've been working Padilla into guard a little bit more because they like his mobility. They think he's a little bit quicker than Tigra. They feel like they can start bringing him on some of those traps and those counters and some of that stuff that we saw last year. So I think we're going to start seeing that out of the running game. We talked about the punting is going to be an open competition week to week. They're going to try to, McGuire is, which I didn't really realize, but McGuire's a one-step punter. Like he takes one step and punts it. Um, Most punters are like one and a half. And, the good news is he gets it off quick. The bad news is it's hard to generate a lot of power when you're only a one-step punter. And so, they're working on some of that stuff. And the third thing was Julian saying, getting a little bit more freedom with the audibling and calling plays at the line of scrimmage and working more of those RPOs and talked about his spin rate, which is I found this fascinating. They said that his spin rate is over 700 on the ball. Now, for people that don't know, but spin rate basically is how tight the spider, how many times the rotations on the ball. And you say, well, what does that matter? Well, when the weather gets bad and it starts getting windy or cold or whatever it is, the guys that throw the tighter spirals, they're less affected by the weather. That's why Aaron Rodgers is such a great quarterback. Tom Brady's such a great quarterback in bad weather. Guys like that can really spin it well. Julian Saints got elite spin rate. Like that's like it would be NFL elite in terms of his velocity, his average velocity, and his spin rate on the ball. So I just found that really interesting as well. So yeah, so we got some little tweaks in terms of going on, but overall, I mean, you know, you've got a team that's operating and at a high level right now, and we've avoided the injury bug, which has really been huge for us.
Yeah.
6 weeks in, some other teams have been devastated by injuries. Some teams have lost their entire defensive backfields and other things. And I don't mind talking about it because I don't believe in superstition on that, but I'll knock on wood and say that we can talk it out of existence. But Ohio State really happy with where they are, but Ryan not happy. Ryan, I would say I would characterize him as surly Ryan, really getting on the guys, really going to the whip with them, which I think is just exactly what you want to do when you're 6-0 and heading up to a Wisconsin team that's kind of overmatched. I think Ryan's really taking it to him, really trying to battle the complacency. And there's no coach in college football that's better at getting guys ready for these games than Ryan Day. Nobody's ever played as or coach been better than Ryan Day. And so that's the tactic he's taking this week, going to him hard, getting him ready for the second half of the season, and making some changes.
Yep. And this is the Ryan Day we've been seeing. That focus. Listen, y'all need to get this together if you want to win another ship. What are we doing out here? I don't care if we're up 30. This is unacceptable. He is laser focused. He is a machine. He has become the Terminator. Like, they done messed around, and this man done won a ship. And I'm telling you, I don't want to. And now we're going to get to Michigan in a moment. I got one more thing to say about this Illinois game and Ohio State, and we're going to get to the Michigan stuff. But I cannot wait. I cannot wait until we go up to the Big Blouse in Ann Arbor and play that game. I know we got games to go, but I'm just telling you. I'm telling you now. So, with that said, my last comments on the game. First of all, Joe Klatt and the refs in that game were absolutely awful. Again, I have not had a chance to talk. I was not on last night, people. It's my first time chiming in. They were awful, okay? The only good thing that came out of that broadcast from the commentary that Klatt said, Nevada, was talking about how impressive Julian Saint's throws were. Him breaking down the throw from the far hash. There was a few throws, but there was one in particular that it was an absolute missile on a rope, and it was accurate. I mean, it was NFL as you can get. And so people, you got to stop sleeping on Julian Saint, man. There's still people just saying he's trash, he's not that good, and whatever. You're a moron. This kid can throw the rock. He's smart, he's sharp, he's only going to get better. People need to understand that this is not a finished product. We've seen over the years growth in players throughout the season. And just imagine where he's going to be at in week 12. And so, yeah, that's the only thing Klatt said that was worth anything. He's just been, not to make the show about Klatt, but he's just been very disappointing, Nevada, over the past few years. He's just bad. And just if Ohio State gets a call, if the other team doesn't get a call against Ohio State, I mean, how many times you got to just remind us that, oh, you think it's controversial or they got screwed? Like, I don't know what's going on, but it's noticeable and it's ridiculous. And then again, Nevada, the refs with some of their calls and it was just done. It was just a bad game from that standpoint, Nevada.
Yeah, no, the refs had a bad day on Saturday, not just in Champaign, but all over college football. And I don't really know
True.
what the answer. I don't know what the answer is. I don't know what they got to do, and they keep messing up replay too, which replay should never
Yeah.
mess up, and they keep messing it up, and it just frustrates me. I really think one of the answers, and we've talked about this before, so I won't belabor it, but in the ACC, what they do is you get to listen in on the replay discussion with the referee. And I at least think that gives some transparency because I'd sure like to hear, a lot of things because, I was talking to a friend of mine who's a ref about that the Jeremiah Smith play on the sideline where he catches the ball, brings the ball down, he's got it there, and then the guy keeps fighting as he's on the ground and knocks the ball out of his thing. And it's like, wait a second, he's literally on the ground. This
Right.
this idea that you have to complete the catch or whatever it is. Well, he can't keep fighting you when you're on the ground and keep pushing on the ball. And that he was completely confused as to what the thinking was on that, as was I. But yeah, it's typical Klatt and those guys. They were terrible. It's getting to the point where I can't even listen to them. I have to turn it off and just watch the game and maybe try to listen to the radio broadcast, but then I get put to sleep by Paul Keels' voice. So it's kind of I'm kind of damned
Yeah.
if I do, damned if I don't. So
No, for sure. Yeah, I was very irritated with that call as well because I could see if it was just jumping all over the place as he's going down, but it wasn't. I'm like, how is that not a catch? I mean, it was ridiculous, but there were other things. And it was
Well,
just
on that one play, like, is there any doubt that JJ Smith had that pinned against his shoulder there? Like,
right. Exactly.
that wasn't coming out, other than the guy smacking it as he's laying on the ground. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand it, but anyway.
Yep. Whatever. We got the dub. But I wanted to shift gears into the cheaters up north. And it's funny, I got some tweets. First of all, shout out to Ohio's Tate from Barstool. He said, I'm still laughing at third base Sharon wearing a maintenance worker's jacket to his press conference with his name embroidered on it. Spent the whole flight home thinking about how to fix a sinking ship, and then the light bulb went off. Put on a Halloween costume. Yeah, Sharon Moore, man, he's a character, man. Because remember, y'all, Nevada, I'm sure you heard him talking about, well, it's sold out at the Coliseum because Michigan's coming to town. Michigan's coming, right? Yeah, they're coming to town to get whooped. What was it, 31-13? And so any comments on that? I thought that was a funny thing because Tron Moore he's just a lame and a poser, man. He's just anyway.
He's 12-7 as a head coach. He's 12-7. That's his record. And like that's the guy that they're latching their thing. That's the guy that's going to lead them out of the will. That's the guy that Ohio State fans are terrified of. His 12-7 record. I mean this legitimately. I hope he's the coach at Michigan for the rest of my natural life.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I definitely agree. He's just, I don't know, man. He ain't it. He ain't it. And last year was a fluke. And to me, Nevada, the meme where it has Thanos and a young Gamora, and it says, "What did it cost you?" And he says everything. Well, if I was to make a meme, like I see you won the national championship, what did it cost you? A fluky loss to Michigan. Like that's just how that was just, Nevada, you there?
I'm back.
Okay,
I don't
cool.
I don't want Sharon Moore to ever leave. That's the bottom line is I hope he's the coach forever. I hope they give him a lifetime contract because like just literally like when he scored, and did you see they're down 11 and he goes for 2.
Yeah.
I mean, that is the dumbest thing. It's like, what in the world? If you make it, coach, you're still down 9. Do you
Right.
realize that?
Did anybody ask him in the presser about why he did that?
I don't know. No, it's like, what are you doing? I mean, what are you doing? I mean, but he does it at least once a game. He'll do some head scratching, clock management thing or game decision or whatever. He does it all the time. And here's a memo for you. If you're down 11, you kick the extra point to go down 10. You don't go for 2. It's dumb. You're just dumb. What are you doing?
Oh man. Yeah, he's a goofy. He's a whole goofy. And I'm again, I was really hoping US because this is how how Michigan fans are. Okay. If they beat a team, either they beat a team or they lose to a team. That team is the greatest team ever. Okay. So now USC is just, and listen, I think USC is a fine team. They're nowhere near they were in the 2000s. They're okay. I think they're fine. I don't think they're elite this year. But of course, Michigan fans make it seem like they're just the greatest team ever now, that they got smashed by them. But that's just what they do. But also, shout out to Ron James on Twitter. He said, Michigan fans, go hire Mentor. And then it says, sad Michigan fan, he has a show cause. And that's why he shows his gift laughing. That literally happened on a Michigan podcast where they were talking about, okay, because they're talking about firing Sharon Moore. That's the other thing. Michigan fans are like, yo, he ain't it. We need to find out the coach. And one dude on the pod was like, get Jesse Mentor. And then another guy had to step in and remind him that he had a show cause. That is the life of a Michigan fan right now. Your cheating, corrupt program, you're mid. And here's the other thing, Nevada. I'm not going to let them act like, because this is what they're going to do. This is what Michigan fans are going to do. I already know their playbook. They're going to lose a few more games. multiple loss season as we predicted, another multiple loss season. They're going to try to act like, oh, this is a rebuilding year, freshman quarterback, we lost a lot. No, no, sir, no, ma'am. You're not going to pull that. You and your insiders and your Portnoys and your Steve DeAces and all those people picked Michigan to beat Ohio State again, to beat Ohio, and to make the playoffs and possible Big Ten title game. That's what they were all saying. Were they not? So no, we're not going to play that game. Okay, this revisionist history stuff. So yeah, and we got the receipts. There's plenty of screenshots of receipts out there for that, Nevada. Anything on that before I show this? Talk about this tweet.
Well, yeah, I mean, look, this is what I was saying. When the NCAA didn't do their job and let them off the hook about the college football playoff ban. Well, they're on a college football playoff ban anyway. It's called Sharon
Yeah.
Moore. That's what it is. So, like, because right now their odds, you can bet this, their odds to make the college football playoff are 30-1.
Mm.
So that's what Vegas thinks they're a 3% chance to make the college football playoff. So they're not going anywhere. We knew they weren't going anywhere. And the thing is, it's not like there's some super young team. And you look at their offensive line, line's all old. I mean, they're not a young, they've got Underwood. The guy that they're building this whole thing around is that clown that is laughing when it's 31-13. Seriously.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, B, you played sports your whole life, man, dude. If you're can you imagine one of your teammates doing that, like yucking
Nope.
it up? I mean,
Nope.
wouldn't fists be flying at that point if that was happening?
Oh, well, first of all, any coach I've coached, football or basketball, would not be having that. I mean, like, you talk about suicides, benched. I mean, any level of that would have not been tolerated. And so, let alone your star quarterback, who's supposed to be the leader of the team, which is crazy, is insane. And so, yes, to your point, Intrinsic, shout out to our guy Intrinsic, steady holding it down all the time on Twitter. He said Michigan's culture under Sharon Moore: cash checks, be buddies with the coach, have fun on the sidelines, get some reels or TikTok moments, easy money, easy life. That's the truth. And then you got your boy yucking it up. You know why? Because that direct deposit just hit, and he doesn't care. And so he's a hired gun who, like Nevada said, this is fact. This is not something we're coming up with. When he was asked about when he was committed to LSU, there was at least 2 times, maybe more, where he took shots at Michigan for their development, for their QB development, until Michigan and the Portnoys and whoever else decided to just overpay this kid and just say, please, we'll give you anything to come here and be our savior. That's when he tried to make it seem like, oh, I'm a Wolverine at heart. No. This culture, this program is revealing itself. And so if this was any kid on Ohio State, any kid doing this would be all over the ESPN ticker. Our local media would be just, I mean, bro, it would be on fire. You know that, Nevada. But yet, this is just par for the course. This is not a big deal. Nobody cares. They'll make excuses for it, Nevada.
Well, and B, you coach your little kid's flag football team. If you had one of your kids on your flag football team and you're losing this bad, I mean, seriously, wouldn't you just run that?
Boy.
Wouldn't you just run that kid the next practice? I mean, like I just can't. I could not even imagine it. Like I said, if one of my teammates was doing this, it would have been on like Donkey Kong, man. I would have been. There's just no way I would. I was the worst loser that you've ever seen at any level. I hated to lose. I
Yeah.
hated to lose more than I like to win. And it's like if one of my teammates was laughing like this after we getting our butts kicked 31 to
Oh
13,
my goodness.
oh my goodness. I could not have contained myself. But for Michigan fans, this is their guy. This is the guy that they're letting them lead them down the parade. And it's just like, oh, it's so perfect. I mean, it just
Yes.
couldn't be any more perfect. And then they lose and they wonder why they lose. What did I say at the beginning of the year? I said they're bullies and they're front runners. And so when
Yeah.
they're beating up on bad teams at home, oh, they'll be just all yucks and clown. Everything's going to be great. But when they lose, man, they're gonna spiral down because they don't have any type of leader. They have no moral compass on that team. And what's happened? They've gotten blown out at Oklahoma. They got blew out at USC. They eked by at Nebraska. I mean, they're just mid, dude. This is after 5 losses last year.
Yep.
5 losses last year. I mean, uh, you would not survive at Ohio State in this. And this is their revival. This is their renaissance. No, I'm telling you, it's not. You can't. It's not working what they're doing, but they don't realize it. Or I don't know. I don't know if the adults are in charge there, but the adults should figure out this ain't the way to do it. They're doing it wrong.
Yeah, it's everything you said right there was bars, man. Straight up bars. And it's going to be revealed little by little. All the front running, all the posing, all the turning a blind eye to cheating and corruption and all the other stuff. Again, just because the Committee on Infractions didn't deliver the required 2-year bowl ban, I'll remind y'all again, that was required under the level of infractions and cheating that they did, but they decided they had a soft spot for the kids on the roster. Go read the report. That did not exonerate them. Read the report. Their cheating was worse than we thought. But in the NCAA, they in their report said, yep, everything they did deserves a 2-year bowl ban. Here it is, Committee on Infractions. Do your job. The Committee on Infractions did not. They decided to not hand down that 2-year bowl ban that they deserved and was required. Okay. And now Michigan fans they celebrated it like they were innocent. No, you're not innocent. And like Nevada said, you got a self-imposed bowl ban. You're not going to the playoffs. You're going to a crap bowl. You got more losses coming. And so we're just sitting here laughing as we're trucking along with the culture we have, the great coach we have, the great kids we have. And we're seeing right now the divide. You're going down and we're continuing to trend up. And so I'm just absolutely enjoying it, Nevada, every second of it. And so they got Washington coming to the Big Blouse this Saturday. And go Huskies. They got a shot. It's going to be tough, because I think Washington's a good offensive team. Defensively, they're limited. But the blueprint is out. Shut down Justice Haynes or keep him from popping his occasional 40-yard run. Get after Underwood. He's not going to throw downfield. And you can beat this team and make some plays on offense. Screen them to death if you have to, like USC did. This team is super beatable. And I only see more losses coming, Nevada. Well, obviously more losses, but 2 or 3 potentially. The only guaranteed potential game is Purdue on their schedule, in my opinion, Nevada.
Yeah, no, I think every single game on their schedule the rest of the way is just a losable game for them for sure.
Yeah.
And again, that's just one of those situations. That's just where they're at right now. And yeah, like I said, it couldn't happen to a better bunch. And I love the fact that they were in such denial, thinking that they got away with it and that they were going to heading to the good times. Well, this is their good times, man. Loss after loss after loss, and that's the leader of your team. It's embarrassing. I mean, I do not know how Michigan fans live with themselves. Seriously. I mean, if Ohio State's that was the guy. I mean, in Terrell Pryor's worst days, Terrell Pryor was never yucking it up on the sidelines down
Right.
31-13. I can tell you that. You know what I'm saying? People bag on him for a lot of stuff. That guy wanted to win. That guy wanted to win. Underwood doesn't give a hoot about winning. He just
Yeah.
doesn't. So I
Yeah.
love it.
Real quick, you just reminded me. I forgot. I was like, man, I was going to say something else, but shout out to Coach Gunn. We coached a flag football team together, and I thought about what you said about our young boys. I mean, we made them run and, for less. I mean, it's just like, are you serious? And I'm laughing because Coach Gunn is tough, man. And so, and we were both, we were tough on them. Like, you have to learn, because our whole thing was life lessons. Life lessons. These are, 7, 8, 9-year-old, boys. And it's just like, yeah, we want to win. And we won. We won the championship. We got the ring. And there was some adversity and we had lost the game. The point is, it's like we were trying to teach them, yes, we want you to be competitive and all the other stuff, but you're not about to be out here slacking, not giving effort. I couldn't imagine. Even at that age, little boys, they're silly, goofy. No. Absolutely not. Me and Coach Gunn would have been all over that. Shout out to Coach Tommy Gunn. Great dude, great coach. But yeah, I just wanted to say that, man. That's just insane. Insane. But
Yeah,
anyway,
you if that was my kids, they'd still be running right now. They'd still be doing laps around.
yes.
They,
Oh man.
it would never, that would not be pretty. But hey, that's for Michigan. They love it.
Yep. I was brought up on good coaching, football and basketball, so I will continue to carry the torch on that for sure. All right, so here we go. We got some good super chats. Let's dive into them. Iowa Buck, thanks for the $9.99. What's up? I'm making a 2-hour drive to Madison Saturday, sitting front row, expecting 49-0. Oof. This team is about to take off in the second half of the season. Saying for Heisman. Iowa Buck, yes. And so this is a good time. Me and the brother Dev from Buckeye Boys, we are traveling to Madison, Wisconsin for the game. We will be in the building. We will be in the streets of Madison taking over. I've never been there. This has been on my list of items to do. I've been to a few Big Ten stadiums, never to this one. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to eating some good local food. And yes, Iowa Buck, I'm looking forward to a good old-fashioned bloodbath. This is not going to be close. And I'd rather have a trip like this to have no anxiety, no concern. Now, I know people are like, don't jinx it. It ain't happening. This is going to be bad, Nevada.
Yeah, it's I mean, I think you will definitely get their best shot, but they just don't have much. So that'll be fun. The last time I went up to Wisconsin was 2003, and that was not a pleasant time. That's when
Oh, yeah, I remember that
Wisconsin
year.
fans, yeah, thought, they won, and it was just bad all the way around. So I think they'll be a little bit more subdued this time because they've returned to their rightful pecking order inside the Big Ten. So you guys should have hopefully you guys have a nice time, uneventful time, and the Buckeyes get out of there with a uneventful, clean victory, and I'm confident they will.
Yes, I agree. And we'll be going live. We'll be doing, we might even sit down at one of the food places and do like a food review. I don't know. We're gonna try to get y'all some some good content, and if y'all any Wisconsin people out there, if you got any good local, not the touristy stuff that's just like not that good, like give me the good local food places to go to. Shoot it in the chat if you got it. But all right. Will the Thrill, thanks for the $9.99. Any inside sources on whether it's more O-line or the running backs that's holding back the run game? I tend to think it's the running backs. Bo could fix it, but I don't think they want him getting 20-plus carries this early. Nevada, what you got on that?
It's neither. It's the scheme. It's all scheme. It's scheme and predictability, man. They basically right now our running game consists of running into masked fronts, and we play football in a phone booth. We bring in two tight ends is a standard set for us. We'll bring in three tight ends. We'll bring in four tight ends, where we take JJ and Carnell off the field and bring four tight ends in. And look, when the other team knows you're running and can mask guys in or just have bodies flying around, it's hard. It's hard to generate much on the inside in that situation. And Ohio State's got to be more diverse with the running attack. They've got to show run some constraint plays, which could include misdirection, orbit motion, reverses, counters, traps. Julian saying keeping. They've got to start doing more of that. The good news is I think they will. But to answer your question directly, it's not offensive line. The offensive line is a really good offensive line, and it's not the run back. Bo Jackson can play for any team in the country, and CJ Donaldson and James Peoples are every bit as good as the second and third running back on USC's team. But USC, ran up and down the field 6.5 yards a carry against Michigan on Saturday because they spread them out and they didn't allow them to mass on the inside. So scheme, and more scheme. Final answer.
The scheme, the scheme, the scheme.
The scheme. Yes.
No, I definitely feel you. And to your point with the predictability, because to me it was a little bit of a mixed bag what I saw at Illinois. Yes, James Peoples still needs to work on his patience when running the ball, but there were also plays where there were guys in the backfield as soon as the running back had the ball. I mean, you had to be Barry Sanders to elude that. Nevada. I know you saw that. There were times Illinois, they were shooting gaps, they were run blitzing. I got to go back and fully watch. I know they had two high safeties at times, but they were really shooting. Their linebackers were just shooting and just, sell it out for the run in the sense that they were willing to just shoot gaps and not be worried about what's behind them. They like, hey, we're going to stop the run, because a part of that is the predictability of us running on first down and the tendencies. Listen, Ryan Day knows this, the coaching staff knows this. I believe we're going to continue to work at this, but as for now, predictability has definitely not helped the run game at all. So I definitely agree with you with that, Nevada. All right, so let me see what we got next. Iowa Buck again. Thanks for the $4.99. I won $250 at 25,000 plus 25,000 to score of 34-16. Never screamed so loud for a meaningless 2-point conversion in my life. Hey, let's go. Congrats on that. That's dope. It's very hard to nail a score, but Nevada just did it too. So it has to be a great feeling, Nevada.
Yeah, that's so hard to do it. Yeah, and you picked 34-16, man. That's a random score right there,
Yeah.
man. So yeah, good for you. That's fantastic. And yeah, that 2-point conversion. Yeah, I always say when there's a 2-point conversion late in the game, there's some gambler somewhere that really cares about this, man. And we found that guy. It was Iowa Buck.
Yeah, for sure. And Iowa Buck, I know you said you'll be in Madison. So hit the board, inbox me, whatever. Maybe we can link up, at least dap up and meet each other. If you're able, I would love to do that. And give me a second. I'm about to grab my Dairy Queen Blizzard at the freezer, so when the show's over, it'll already be ready to be eaten. I told you I'm fat. Hold on. All right, here we go.
All right, there we go.
The Blizzard of the month is Reese mixed with Oreo. It's fire. You got to try it. Really, really good. But I got a fridge in my little man cave. That's mandatory. But anyway, what we got next? We got D Sunny. Thanks for the $4.99. How bad does Jim Knowles feel, and what do you think he will be doing next season? Nevada, that's your guy. That's your brother. What's your thoughts on Jimmy?
Well, have you ever seen those things with Scrooge McDuck where he's diving into that thing with gold coins?
Yes.
That's what Jim Knowles is going to be doing next year. He's going to be walking out there and just diving into this big thing like Smog, the desolation of Smog, or something like that, living in like this big golden castle there with all stuff. Now, yeah, I think things work out the way that they should. He wanted to get home to Pennsylvania, wanted to go someplace that had a different level of pressure than Ohio State, and he stepped into a buzzsaw there, and but he got a big contract. He's going to make a lot of money. It's kind of like James Franklin. James Franklin got fired. James Franklin's getting 49 million to leave. 49 million. So like, don't cry for me, Argentina, man. I think Jim Knowles is happy. Look, I'm just grateful. Jim Knowles came in when we were 59th in defense, took our defense to number one, and won us a national championship. So I will never understand the hate for Jim Knowles from the Ohio State fan base, man, because we've had a lot of position coaches that have come in and never did a darn thing, or weren't fortunate enough to win a national championship. He did both. Took us the number one back-to-back years and won a national championship. So I wish him well. And now, like I said, hey, he's going to get paid, man. He's going to get paid what, $10 million to leave Penn State, and he'll go live in his golden castle somewhere in Oklahoma or something like that. And hey, life is good.
Come to Penn State or not.
Or not.
Or not.
But give me the money.
Right. And listen, I agree. As I've said before, any comments or little digs I take at Jim Knowles is all if I do not hate that man at all. Like he helped us win a national title. He just did. We can debate over the degree.
Well, especially like the defense. I mean, the defense was a big part of that national championship.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's not like the defense was bad and they just got backpacked by the offense. I mean, the defense,
Right.
the defense played great, especially down the stretch. I mean, when we lost to Michigan, it wasn't the defense that let us down against Michigan.
Right.
You know what I'm
True.
saying?
True.
So like I said, I don't get it. It's funny and all, but I don't. I mean, I don't get it. But anyway, God bless them all.
Yeah, I definitely hear you, brother. All right. Ian Bates, what's up, man? Thanks for the 199. Dante Moore looking funny in the light. Is IU good? I think IU is good. I think they're good. Um, they don't have the roster and talent that we have, but their quarterback is good. They got Surratt is still a really good under underrated player at receiver. I mean, they got good players and they're well coached. Um, I like them. I think they're good, and so yeah, that's really all I have to say about it. I mean, shout out to Signetti. I wasn't sure if they would be able to put it together again because it's Indiana. I'm like back to back years of being good, but they have. I think they're legit. Nevada, how you feel?
Well, do you remember our predictions on the IU Oregon game?
Yes.
Remember, Nevada Buck was picking the IU to win that
Yeah.
game, man.
Yes, you were,
I
and I was hoping that
what?
they would, and you were
Yeah,
right.
well, but here's the thing that you got to realize about IU, and this is the little bit. This is the one thing that should give you pause if you're an IU fan, Signetti fan, whatever. Of their 22 starters, 19 of them are fourth, fifth, or sixth-year starters.
Hmm.
Okay. So they're an old team. Like he
Yeah.
went hard on the portal, brought all these kids in. So do I think this is sustainable slash repeatable slash, you know what I'm saying? No, I don't. I really don't. But this team, but the answer to the question, is this IU team in 2025 good? Yeah, they are veteran, they are experienced, and they're good. Now, what do I think the future holds? I mean, that's why when people talk about will Signetti leave Indiana, I mean, the reason I think he would the reason to leave Indiana is because he realizes that it's going to be hard to replicate the success in the future at Indiana. You know what I'm saying? I think he kind of caught lightning in a bottle with the way he went hard in the portal, but you can't do this every year. At some point, you have to be developing some players around the thing.
Right.
And this is a really old team. Look at the roster, super old team, and so I think IU as a program has a little bit of fool's gold, but the 2025 IU team is going to be a tough out for anybody who plays them for sure.
That's a great point. Great breakdown. So yeah, not like some new sustainable thing. It's just, when you got older guys like that and they got good coaches, that's the good recipe. I'll definitely feel you on that. All right. So last super chat here. We got Will the Thrill. Thanks for the 499. Why do you think that they're being so vanilla in the run game when the creativity was a huge part of our championship run? Appreciate the insight. I mean, so I'll chime in first. I mean, there's theories and different things you can think of, and even Nevada, I believe you touched on this. You might have touched on this last night's pod, but I think you were talking about how people talk about sandbagging and just working on stuff and just kind of breaking stuff out a little later. You got that standpoint, but also, with their before the season, we heard how much they love the tight end. Shoot, we love the tight end room. And so now we're seeing them consistently leaning into that tight end room. Now, there's been some good moments with the 12, 13, 14 personnel, and there's been some not so good moments. And so, me personally, I don't think in week 12 and beyond, we're going to see the exact same looking offense that we've seen, or play calling, or approach. I believe that Ryan Day and the coaching staff feels like there's something there with the heavy looks, and even if it's just occasional down the line to break out, because there's different things they feel they can do off of it and not just run up the middle. At least that's my belief. And so I think a part of it is we have the luxury of a great defense. We need to get these guys reps in this scheme, and we feel like it's going to pay off down the line. We've seen little glimpses of them changing it up, opening up the pass game and stuff like that. But here's the thing, and I'll end with this. Yes, we can just pass on most teams, even if they got the shell coverage, and just hit them underneath and just move downfield. But any team should want to be balanced in general. So, yes, there's some games within that context of the game that you just do what you got to do to win. If it's pass heavy, fine. But Ryan Day and any coach will want to get the run game to where it should be so that there's balance, especially when they get to a higher level of competition. So that's my long-winded answer to that. Nevada, did you have anything on that?
Well, I think, from talking to people in the program, and I think this is kind of a popular consensus as well. I think Ryan wanted to establish a culture of toughness on this team. And I think that that's what they're doing with that 13 and 14 personnel stuff, is that they want to show that they can take a body blow and deliver one. And I think as they get in the second half of the season, I think they're going to, as you said, they're going to be more diverse out of that same set, and they're going to show different sets. And I think
Yeah.
bringing in Padilla at guard, he's more mobile, can a little easier mover than Tigre is. And I think that's going to lend themselves to more of those traps and counters and pulls and some of the other stuff that they want to do with a more mobile offensive line. So I think it's a combination of they had two new tackles, Philip Daniels and Austin Seyerveld. They had some new running backs, and Ryan he wanted to establish that culture. Well, I think they've kind of established it. I think they're there, but I think now is when you start to see the iterations, much like you saw last year. I think this second half season when you start to see it happen, and I think games 6 through 12 and then into the playoffs, that's when we'll start seeing the new running game concepts introduced.
Got you. Yep. All right. We got another super chat. This came in from Dave Mathis. Thanks for the 4.99. Thanks for being a Scoop Ultra member. Can we still? I think he's saying Katron Allen from Penn State at running back. How's the what is it? Work mid season? How's that work mid season? I think they'd be a huge upgrade from Donaldson. Go Bucks. So yeah, Nevada. I mean, first of all, what year is he? Isn't he a senior or is he a junior?
Yeah, well, first of all, guys can't leave. They changed the rules. That used to be when a coach got fired, that they had like a 30-day portal window where guys could leave. Right now there's only one portal window. That's that
Yeah.
portal window in January. So that's it. So as it stands, it's not like we're going to be stealing guys middle of the season or doing whatever. Having said that, for recruits for the 26 class and for the 27 class, you know, those are all completely jumped in, and some guys on the current roster that may want to transfer out, but there's not going to be any mid-season. This will all be after the season kind of stuff, portal window, beginning of January kind of stuff for picking over Penn State. And I'm sure what Penn State's planning on is that they'll have their coach in place by then, and that they'll try to keep their guys together. And that's why they made the move when they did now, so that they could get the front of the line for the coaching candidates. Because you think about it, if you wait till the end of the season, all you're doing is answering all the questions. There's all sorts of problems or people questioning, blah, 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 blah. Now at least you've answered the question, and now they can have their agents out there talking to other people's agents about interest in the job. And so they can hit the ground running. So I actually think it was a pretty bold and smart move on their part to do it mid-season. But yeah, there will not be any player movement mid-season. It won't happen until January.
Yep. And like I said, we're definitely going after some of them Penn State decommits and all that. You better believe it. So we'll see how that
big time.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll, and it's still fresh. Discussions are happening and all that. So oh yeah, come on to Columbus, fellas. But anyway, so yeah, great show. Good to be back. We got Wisconsin coming up this week. And again, I will be in the building, me and Dev. I'm very excited about that. Traveling there for the first time. And so the weather, again, we're on a heater with the freaking weather, man. It's going to be 70, no rain. It's just the weather this season has just been incredible. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it, man. But anything else before we hop off, Nevada?
We'll find some good little places for you guys. When you guys get up there, Friday. How much time do you have up
Friday.
in Madison?
Yeah, so I'm not going to have as much time on Friday. Unfortunately, from when I arrive, Dev may be able to hit y'all with a little bit of coverage, but it's going to be primarily Saturday. It's a 3:30 game, Saturday before and after, and maybe and during the game, hopefully, and then Sunday. So we're going to try to get y'all as much coverage and just insight and whatever that we can. I'm looking forward to that, just going live, being around all the fans and stuff like that. So yeah, it's gonna be fun.
We're gonna get you a cheese head so you can wear the cheese head to the game or something like that.
That would be terrible. I might do it just to get a good pick. And then I'm gonna make sure Dev or somebody gets a nice little video of us doing a jump around, at the
I like
end,
that.
before the
That'll be good.
yeah. And hopefully we'll be up 59 to 3 by that point, but we'll see.
I love it.
All right, cool. Listen, we will see y'all next time. Appreciate y'all always. Love y'all, Buckeye Scoop family, Buckeye Nation. Go Bucks. Peace.